Good morning. I thought I'd do a different update this week. I've been doing it by email, but I just thought this week I would do it by video conference. Hopefully that will be quite interesting for you. But basically, I just thought I'd give you an update. We've seen a lot of government action in the last week or so, and the markets have not fully responded to that yet, although today markets are looking a bit more positive. We've seen the FTSE jump up 4% this morning, however, it did that yesterday morning. But more importantly, the American markets are showing that they're probably going to jump this afternoon. There's a S&P futures, which shows you direction of the US market this afternoon. So yeah, the extent of the government announcements over there have taken a while to come through, but they have come through, and there is more positive signs there. Other positive signs are that Italy started to slow the number of new cases of the coronavirus. But basically we're at a stage now where it's coronavirus versus the extent that globally governments can support the economies, and ultimately the global governments will win this. The question is when they will win it. So I just want to come on and talk to you a bit about that. But there's so many stressful things going on at the moment. It's having to self-isolate. You could be unwell. Your family could be unwell. The last thing I want you to be stressed about is your portfolio. So today's a wee bit about reassuring you on your portfolio. So we've seen the market sell off, but just be reassured, first of all, that you're not 100% exposed to the market. So you're typically going to have 50 to 60% of the drawdown that the market's had. You've seen that the portfolios over the last couple of years have performed well on the upside. They've managed to capture the upside without taking as much risk on the upside. And because they're now able to protect on the downside, when the markets do recover, they will accelerate ahead and capture that upside. So the key thing is any small thing they can do to defend against the falling markets, which their portfolios are managing to do, will prove twofold going forward. It's actually now a good time if you're considering doing your ISAs, or if you want to drip some money in. This is not a bad time to be starting to do that. I'm not saying we've reached the bottom yet. It's going to be still a very, very rocky few months, but with almost 35% sell-off, if you saw went into a shop and saw your favorite items 35% off, you would be tempted to jump in there. I've put a few slides together I want to talk you through, which hopefully will provide a bit more reassurance. Let me just share my screen here. Yes, so here we go. This is just some slides I've put together. This first slide, a few people asking me about what I think the recovery will be. Will it be a U-shape or a V-shape? I mean, actually, I think it's going to be a V-shape, but the question is how long that recovery will take. I think it will take a long time to recover. But just going back and looking at the previous recoveries, 1986, the market dropped 36% in 2 months. And you can see quite a sharp V recovery there back in 1987. It took 22 months to recover. Looking at the other side of the chart, you've got the 2001, 2002 downside. We had markets took 38%, came off 38% and took 33 months to recover. So that's just looking at history and looking to see what history can give us some evidence of what can happen going forward. Both these cases, we've seen the V-shaped recovery. And that's one of the things I've been talking to you about is this V-shaped recovery, and how being out of the market at the moment is actually very dangerous, because this next slide shows basically so this slide shows that just being out of the market at all, basically the 6 of the best 10 days over the last 40 years or so have happened within 2 weeks of the worst days. So it's really crucial to stay in these markets. How painful that feels at the moment is difficult, but I can reassure you that staying in the market is the right thing to do. Just by looking at that, so this chart shows if you stayed fully invested, your average return for the S&P 500 is about almost 10%, 9.85%. If you miss the best 6 days, then that drops by almost 4%. And then you missed best 10 days, that drops by 4%. If you miss 20 days, that drops down by another 4%. So the crucial thing is staying in the market. This slide I find very reassuring. That's just basically what the stock market has done over the last 150 years or so. That gives me quite a lot of reassurance. That's the direction of travel. Now, there's a lot of drawdown periods within that, but that's just the nature of stock market investing. And that's why I always retain that we're in the market for the long term, 5-6 years plus. And that's it. So hopefully these slides will give you a little bit of reassurance. Still not out of the woods yet. And I mean, this virus is proving, it's really unbelievably catastrophic at the moment. But I'm betting on there's a saying in the markets, don't bet against the Fed. I'm fully backing that. I think the globally governments are getting together. The G20 sat together. That proved to be the low point when in 2008 the markets recovered from 2008 once the G20 countries got together and had a sort of a together plan on sorting out the financial crisis. Similar here. So I know it's been difficult times, but stick with it, and please don't worry about your portfolio. There's much more important things to worry about at this difficult time. That's all I've got to say. But any questions at all, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Be delighted to chat to you. I'll talk to you soon.